Matt, welcome to Credlin. Give us a sense of what it's like for you and your community on the ground.
Look, thanks for having me. Look, the best descriptive word that I can give you, Peter, is it's scary at the moment. You don't know what you're going to get. One day you can walk up the street fine, the next day you can go to a shopping centre and get locked in because there's a 13-year-old wielding a machete. So, you know, the destructive, senseless behaviour that we're seeing the broken glass, we're seeing the smashed up cars, all of those sort of things. But now the flavour of the month is edged weapons in Alice Springs. It's scary and we just need help.
So I've been to Alice Springs many times in my former life working for politicians, and I've been out on some of your night patrols. I think sadly violence has been something your community has lived with for a long time. But this is a real step up, isn't it? What's driving it?
Oh, absolutely a step up. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, and last January was just, you know, was bad. We thought it couldn't get any worse, and since the lapsing of Stronger Futures in July, we have just seen absolute chaos. There's no let up. It's not just happening at night time, Peter. It's happening day in, day out, 24/7. So the DV's gone through the roof. As I said, the property crime's gone up. We're just desperate for change. We can't continue to live like this in Alice Springs.
And so my viewers at home can follow you. Stronger Futures that you referenced there were changes to access laws in relation to alcohol, weren't they?
Yeah, sorry about that. It's effectively the intervention, otherwise known as, and we had liquor restrictions on 17 town camps. So when that lapsed, 16 of the 17 town camps can now access alcohol. And don't forget, they were put in for many reasons. We've had Congress, the health organisation for Aboriginal people in Central Australia, come out quite strongly at the time and say, don't lift it, you're not ready. AMSEN as well come out and said, don't lift it, we aren't ready. The script was written, and what's happened was exactly what was told to the government, that this is going to happen, and so they can't say that they're surprised by it. And I just urge to go back to how it was until we can see positive change in the community. And the other thing, Peter, is you run for politics because you want to make people's lives better. The lapsing of Stronger Futures has made no one's life better in Alice Springs, and I think that's really important. No one's life is better from this. There was a lack of consultation, and we need to go back to Stronger Futures immediately.
And look, I again was working in Canberra at the time it was brought in. I mean, a lot of the calls were from women trying to protect themselves and children. That's why they wanted these alcohol bans and certainly the federal intervention. You've been quite strong today saying the federal government's got to get involved in what's happening in Alice Springs. Peter Dutton was in the media today saying that he wrote to the Prime Minister before Christmas and said, you know, why don't you and I go to Alice Springs? Why don't we see what's happening on the ground and how we can work together in a bipartisan way to turn things around? Peter Dutton said today he hasn't had a response to his letter to the Prime Minister. What do you think about that idea that they both come in a show of support to Alice Springs?
Yeah, absolutely would welcome that, and I've spoken to Mr Dutton today and we had those conversations. I mean, the Prime Minister or any ministers obviously always welcome to Alice Springs, and you know, the more people that know about this on a national scale, the better in my opinion. It's certainly not something that I want to promote, but people need to be aware of the things that are happening in the heart of the country. And I will just say, you know, this has never been about politics for me, Peter. This is always about the people. We've got a great relationship with the federal member for Lingiari, Marion Scrimgeour. So look, we just need help, and I certainly welcome the Prime Minister and the opposition leader to come, bipartisan support for Alice Springs, and come here and address this, sit around the table and come up with practical solutions.
Well, Matt, you're making headlines around the country for all the wrong reasons, but I think a lot of people are watching and listening to you speak out and wishing you can turn the tide on this one tonight. Thank you for your time.